Most of us are aware of the type of manifestation that requires affirmations to be repeated or visualizations to be had in order for us to create the reality that we want. And while this is a big part of the manifestation process, it's actually not the biggest part of the manifestation process. And so if you want to hang with me for the next 15 minutes, I'm going to talk a little bit about what part of the brain is responsible for projecting our reality. So like what is actually happening neurologically when we manifest things. And then we'll talk about why manifesting from the mind is an incomplete model and how it kind of will not be efficient for a lot of people to use this method to manifest from. And then we'll talk about manifesting from the body. And this is actually going to be the key to bringing what you want into your awareness. So we're going to get a more complete model of how to manifest something into your reality and feel safe in your body doing so. Yes, my name is Jin, and welcome to The Unwound Being. This is a space where we explore different topics and different ideas so that we can unwind unconscious patterns and really step into our best and most expansive life. So thank you for showing up and joining me this week. I'm really excited to talk about this. And so we'll start with manifesting from the mind. So like I said before, manifesting is the practice that's typically more widely shared is going to be repeating affirmations or visualizing the reality that you want until it comes into your existence. What part of your brain is actually being used to allow this to happen is called the reticular activating system. Okay, so the reticular activating system is a mental filter that your brain sees through, and it is programmed by your thoughts. So as you're thinking things, it amplifies and highlights those things within your environment. Great example of this is a car, right? You get a new car, a friend gets a new car of a certain color, and then all of a sudden you're seeing those cars in that color. Your reticular activating system is activated, and so that's why those particular vehicles are being highlighted in your scope. And this is why we are able to repeat things into fruition. It's simply a programming of the mind. So the part of this process where things get a little bit sticky is it's called neuroplasticity. And in order to train your brain to seek out certain things, objects, experiences, people, etc., we need to go through this process of neuroplasticity in order to prune older limiting beliefs so that we stop operating from those beliefs and we are able to strengthen different neural pathways that will align us with where we're looking to go or what we're looking to attract. So if you actually haven't watched last week's episode and you're interested in this concept of neuroplasticity, in last week's episode called The Moment Before Reacting, I dove into the process from stimuli to sensation to cognition, story to reaction, and shared exactly within that process we are able to interrupt an automatic loop or cycle that we're on so that we can more effectively strengthen new neural pathways. So if that interests you, please check that out. Also a really cool video. So that is neuroplasticity. And why we need it for manifesting is because that is what is going to program that reticular activating system. The more we are able to actually believe and like follow these different neural pathways, we'll be able to bring different things into our reality. Otherwise, we're more stuck repeating loops that we might have put into place at a very young age. Anyway, to move forward, because I can get on that topic. I can definitely get off track there. But the wrench that this throws in this manifestation process is that neuroplasticity, the mind follows the body, right? And when I shared before that process of reaction from stimuli to reaction, we first get sensation before the brain cognizes anything. And fun fact for you, we have this neural highway. It's called the vagus nerve. And it's a neural highway that connects the brain, the lungs, the heart, and the whole gut, the whole intestine. And 80% of the neural traffic in this neural highway actually goes from body to brain. So that's a clear indication that our brain follows what our body says, okay? So when we talk about neuroplasticity, we're typically talking about the mind, the mental aspect of it, obviously, because we're talking about neurons and neural pathways. But we don't take into consideration a large portion of that highway that is helping program, that is the body, right? So now we're at the nervous system. Now we're here, and we're gonna see what role our body plays in this manifestation game that we're trying to master here, right? So looking at the nervous system, we have two modes that our nervous system operates in. One is going to be sympathetic nervous system, which is better known as fight or flight. And then the next is going to be the parasympathetic, which is rest and digest. So a lot of us, particularly in today's climate, live in at least a low level state of sympathetic nervous system activation. And if you there's so many things. So this is kind of almost having a hum of agitation or anxiety living within your body consistently. And unless we are actually in tune with our body and able to observe and feel sensation, this is something that we more than likely aren't even aware of. But it can happen for so many different reasons. A huge example that I think a lot would be able to resonate with will be money, right? Like, you can be happy and everything, but if you don't know if ends are going to meet financially, you will be operating in this hum of anxiety, okay? And so when we're looking at this nervous system connection between the mind and the body, we need to understand that our mind is responding to tensed sensations or uneasy feelings in the body that are all being communicated through these electrical, chemical interactions and reactions and processes. And that is what is telling our brain whether we are in a safe place or not, whether we are safe. And so if we have any sort of this tension in our body, our brain doesn't imagine that our experience right now is safe. So it is going to be reallocating resources. And I can guarantee that if our body is in sympathetic fight or flight mode, our brain is not going to be allocating resources to us visualizing a beautiful future for ourselves, right? Like, unfortunately, it's not. It's just our brain has better things to do with the resources it's working with. So this, in my opinion, is what the more commonly known practice of manifesting is missing. We need to train our body to recognize what we're trying to align ourselves with, or what we are calling in, is safe, right? So if money is an easy one. It's one that I can resonate throughout my story. So that's why I keep going back to that. Hopefully some of you guys, some of you ladies, some of you people watching are like, oh, money makes me feel huge and expansive and I'm so good with money. Like, that's what I'm hoping for everybody. But I know that's not everybody's experience. So I'm going to use money as an example again, where if we're living in this state where we don't know if we're going to be able to make ends meet, right? So we have this low hum of anxiety consistently, and then we walk around with $1 million. This literally, I did this, right? This was like a few years back. This is exactly what I was doing when I was started getting into manifestation. not knowing if ends are going to meet, and walking around with $1 million check. From this state, from this physiological state, being in that place where you don't know if ends are going to meet, actually having enough money, having extra money at the end of the month after bills are paid, food is bought, all of that, that is literally enough to put our nervous system into an unsafe place, because that's not known, right? Our nervous system doesn't go with what's comfortable. So like $1 million isn't going to make us comfortable. It's actually going to make us very uncomfortable, because it's going to be uncommon to our nervous system. So here's what we do about this, right? We learn to manifest from the body first. Manifesting from the nervous system is going to be the key to allowing your brain to understand that what you're trying to call in is safe. Okay, so this is going to be the bulk of the work here, is working with your nervous system. So I do want to just throw out there that this isn't something that's going to happen easily or naturally for a lot of people. The practice is the journey with stuff like this, with any sort of work that we're doing with ourselves or for ourselves, on ourselves. The practice is going to be the journey. Keep showing up. I'm here to support you on your journey. But okay, so manifesting from the nervous system. What do we do? How do we do this? So we're going to have to be in a safe space where we can ideally close our eyes and take at least 2 to 3 conscious breaths. Okay, so I like, it's like 4 counts in, 4 seconds in, and 6 seconds out. That is a breathing technique that just calms the mind. So it's an easy one to drop into. And then this, once you've taken those 3 breaths, I would totally just shake out. Shake out before, after, in the middle. Eventually, you want to just settle, right? You don't want to be moving around the whole time. Feel something come up, shake it off. Usually if it's a tension, shake out the tension, observe the sensation, and then just breathe. Allow the conscious breaths to settle your system so you're not tensed, you're breathing nicely, it's just a flow. And this is bringing your body into a parasympathetic rest and digest state. So this is showing your brain through those chemical, electrical impulses that I mentioned before. It is showing your brain, telling your brain that you are safe. Okay, so from this parasympathetic state, now if we want to bring in the mental aspect of manifestation, this is where we let our imagination run wild. And why this is so powerful is because our brain does not know the difference between imagination and reality. So if we are able to paint a really rich picture of who we're looking to become or what we're looking to experience, and we can feel those emotions, like really get into the emotions of having that in our reality, that is where not only are we able to program the reticular activating system in order to now start locating things in our world that will help us get to whatever we're trying to bring to fruition, but we will be training our nervous system that the imaginative thoughts, that imagined reality that we are trying to bring into fruition, we're trying to call in, now we're training our brain that that's actually safe in our body, which is the only way that it's going to land. It's the only way that it will be able to land, is if it's safe in the nervous system. And since the nervous system, big part of it is that vagus nerve, where the body is communicating to the brain what is safe, what is not, what we can handle. Starting it from this nervous system, from this place, is going to be the golden nugget to get us all manifesting big things for ourselves and for the collective. And so I hope that this content was helpful for you. And if this content or any of the content that I share on my channel resonates with you, or if I resonate with you, I do have an offering. So down in the description, you can get a link to my Calendly, and you can schedule either a 15-minute introduction call where we just get to know each other, see if we would be a good fit to work together, or there's a $77 1-hour clarity call where we work together on what's showing up for you in the moment. So I hope to chat with you, maybe one-on-one, but most definitely in the comments. and I will see you next Sunday. Until then, allow your mind to unwind with the topics that we explored today.